welcome back to the Cheltenham Countdown YouTube channel. This is episode number 3 leading into the jumps season, and of course, as I mentioned in my first 2 episodes, I've got 3 special episodes. This is the last of the 3 to build up to the upcoming jumps campaign. Now, obviously the first 2 episodes have been about the Cheltenham Festival, what I thought about it with my favourite moments, my top 10 moments and my top 10 performances in those respective episodes. This episode though, I'm bringing you guys into my video alongside me into the show. We're bringing some of your tweets that you've been tweeting me with regards to some of my posts lately. And obviously this last episode, I'm going to be bringing some horses to follow that I'm going to be keeping on side for the majority of the jumps campaign. So without further ado, we'll go straight into the horses to follow, and then towards the end of the video, we'll give some of your mentions and your tweets a shout out on the show. Total, guys, I've got roughly 8 horses to follow for this upcoming jump season, and you'll only hear 4 of them on this particular video. The other 4 then will be mentioned in the next video, which will either be out next week or the week after, depending on when I can get that video released, which will then lead us nicely into the jump season, of course. Only a month to go before Chepstow Welsh Racing Festival, so we cannot wait for that, as we know. Now, within my 8 horses to follow, I've got a couple of bumper horses from last season, some nice novice hurdlers, novice chasers, and a couple of handicappers, which will be mentioned at the end of this video. That will then lead us nicely into your tweets and your comments on my latest post on my Twitter page. So stay tuned for that. That's at the end of the video. My first horse to follow then is going to be a bumper horse from last season, trained by Harry Fry, called Idaho Sun. We know he's going novice hurdling this season. Like I said, following on from his very good bumper campaign last time out. He began with a win very early on in the season last October at Newton Abbot, beating a nice horse of the Skelters, and also another horse in 3rd place from the David Pipe stable that day. Idaho Sun then followed up at Windsor in the January meeting earlier on this year in a Class 2 bumper and won it well. That was in the Winter Millions Festival. This had connections at the time, pondering whether to send the horse to the Cheltenham Festival for the champion bumper or to Aintree for their Grade 2 bumper, respectively, in April. They decided in the end to go to the Cheltenham Festival, and the horse ran very creditably well in the race, plugging on to land 6th place in that big field bumper. As we all know, it's tough to win that bumper in Cheltenham. I do believe this season, trainer Harry Fry, like I said, will have Idaho Sun primed and ready to jump hurdles really well, with the starting point, of course, in a maiden hurdle somewhere. And I could also see him going, if he does take to his hurdles well, I could also see him going into graded company again. Like I say, if he takes to his hurdles well and is a good jumper to begin with, he could be a potential graded novice hurdler in time. And one race I do think would be very nice for him. Again, depending on how he jumps, depending on how he runs and takes to his obstacles. If he gets through his first few novice races, the race I'd like to see him at is potentially the Formby novice hurdler Aintree on Boxing Day. I could really see that race a decent opportunity for him and connections. The trainer has won it before, of course, when the race was held at Sandown with Metier. That was about back a few years ago. That was the Tolworth novices hurdle, now renamed the Formby. I could really see Idaho Sun potentially going to that race. Like I said, again, dependent on if he wins his maiden hurdle, of course, and obviously goes from there into graded company. But that's a potential path. We wait to see if this horse who finishes 6th in the champion bumper last season can take to his obstacles, is schooling well, and we'll wait to see. But he's my first horse to follow. Again, let me reiterate, it's Idaho Sun, trained by Harry Fry, who's going novice hurdle. The second horse to follow now, guys, is Sober Glory of the Philip Hobbs and Johnson White stable. Again, could be going novice hurdling this season. He's with Brocade Racing, of course. This horse does run in the same colours as the Great Native River did, just to let you know. He was the top lot sold at the Cheltenham May sale of last year before being sent to be trained by Philip Hobbs and Johnson White. He's unbeaten in 4 starts, 1 point-to-point and 3 bumpers. His bumper season started off at Chepstow in October last year. Then he moved on to Exeter in December before winning a valuable listed bumper at Newbury in February on the Game Spirit William Hill Hurdle Day, usually known as the Betfair Hurdle, of course. Formerly, like I said, the Betfair Hurdle at Newbury. He's definitely one that connections will have some great fun with. at placing in certain big races if all goes well this term. Again, he should be going down the novice hurdling route, I'd say, during this season. He won't mind the softer ground either. Most of his wins have come on soft ground, so I do think that'll suit him much better. So the second horse, again going novice hurdling, is Sober Glory of the Philip Hobbs and Johnson White stable in the colours of Brocade Racing, which is again the same owners of the great Nick. Another horse to follow, guys. This is number 3, of course. Another horse, like I said, a bumper horse from last season, going potentially novice hurdling this time around. This time is out in Ireland, trained by Gordon Elliott, and the horse is called the Flying King. In the same colours as Romeo Coolio, in fact, in the KDTA Racing Silks, the black and white silks. He's a point-to-point winner over 3 miles and started off over bumpers in Ireland last season, as we know. He came second in his first 2 starts at Down Royal and Fairyhouse, respectively. Both were very tight finishes in the end. He wasn't beaten far whatsoever before winning his last race at Wexford back in March of this year. I presume he'll start in a maiden hurdle over 2 miles, maybe fairly early on in the season. He may be the one that targets Down Royal, that Gordon Elliott likes to have plenty of horses at that particular meeting. At the moment, he's 66-1 for the Supreme Novices Hurdle, if that's the route they decide and end up going down. If that division is the path for the Flying King. But I do expect him to go novice hurdling for Gordon Elliott. It remains to be seen if it's a 2 mile division he'll target or whether he goes up in trip or further. There is some nice piece of form to his name already, though, especially in his first race under rules, where he did finish in second at Down Royal last December. Although he didn't win that race, as we know, he was 14 lengths ahead of the horse in third that day. The horse was named Strong Link, the horse that finished third, and he's won both his hurdle starts already in his career earlier on this summer. So there's a nice level of form to his name. He's not a bad-looking horse. He's a grey gelding, and I'd expect him to win a maiden hurdle to kick things off this season. He may dip his toe into graded company sooner rather than later. But I'm really excited about the Flying King. The first horse to follow in Ireland for me this season, and he's potentially going to go novice hurdling. So we wait to see where he's sent out first. The fourth horse, and my final one on this particular video, guys, to follow for this upcoming season is a handicapping type, and his name is Soul Solution, who's trained by Venetia Williams, a 7-year-old, and has won 4 of his 6 starts under rules, including his 2 bumpers and another 2 hurdle races. He was unsuccessful in his first 2 hurdle starts that he ran, and he then put that right in January and February this year at Hereford and Sandown, respectively. His last win of the season at Sandown was in a 2.5 mile novice handicap hurdle, and has now currently got a rating of 119. All of his wins, though, and this is no surprise with Venetia Williams' type of horses, all his wins have come on soft or heavy ground. Venetia Williams, of course, as we know, is a master trainer on this type of with these type of conditions. We all know how brilliant a trainer she is with these types of horses. So I will for sure be keeping Soul Solution a watchful eye during the winter in deep heavy ground in potential handicap hurdle races. So that's one I'm going to give to you all now. A handicapping type off 119, pretty well handicapped. I think there's a bit more room for improvement for this particular horse. Soul Solution, a 7-year-old in the UK, trained by Venetia Williams. Then it's the time for the show part of the show, I should say, where I give you guys a chance for a shout out. I give you guys an opportunity for some of your tweets that you guys responded to one of my posts on Twitter of late. It was a couple of days ago, in fact, when I asked most of you, whoever wanted to reply, you're free to reply. You can still actually comment on the post now. It will be on my Twitter page for the foreseeable future. It won't be removed, so you can continue replying if you guys have a particular horse you'd like to share with us. I asked in the tweet if you could give me one handicap horse that you guys currently like right now for one race that he or she, so it could be a mare, will win during this jump season. So I wanted one handicap horse to win a handicap race during the season. It could be the Cheltenham Festival, it could be, it's up to you guys, or anywhere else in the campaign, but it has to be a handicap win. I wanted you guys to try and know your plots and try and know your handicap horses, where they're going to be sent, if you guys have any inside information, or you guys wanted to find out whether this horse went to a particular race and had a good chance of winning. And I did have quite a lot of response to that particular tweet, of course. So we'll go through each comment, each reply one by one. And the first reply I had off had was from a good friend of the show called Ginger Joe, of course, who I can say tipped up. Now, if it does turn up to be the right horse in the right race, it's going to be potentially a tip, isn't it? So, but he did say the horse Act of Authority, trained by Ollie Murphy, he is, isn't he? That he will win the Pertemps qualifier at Newbury in November. That particular race in that meeting at Newbury, or I think that's in the Coral Gold Cup meeting. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe wrong on that, but he's going to be winning the Pertemps qualifier at Newbury in November and has a shot at the Pertemps final in March at the Cheltenham Festival. Very good one there, Joe. I did like that one in terms of the fact you gave me two back-to-backs. He's got to win a Pertemps qualifier, get himself qualified, and then has an opportunity to run at the Cheltenham Festival in the Pertemps final. The second comment was one I really did like as well. Obviously, all these I like, but this one in particular, because it's not long to go until we find out if this horse does actually run in this particular race. The tweet was from Liam Murphy, and the horse in question, French Ship, trained by Philip Hobbs and Johnson White, if he gets to this race and wins this race, Liam, hats off to you, because it's a very good shout, to win the Chepstow Silver Trophy next month at the Welsh Racing Festival. So French Ship, I'll have to check on his rating. I think that's a good shout though, because he did run in the meeting last year, I think, as well, and won. So we'll keep a sharp eye if he's entered for the Chepstow Silver Trophy. That's French Ship for Philip Hobbs and Johnson White. The next tweet and the next horse in question is from Archie, considering Liam Swagger for the Great Wood Hurdle and then the County. Very big ask, but I think that's a good opportunity for him to win as well. I think Liam Swagger finished third in the Boodles at the Cheltenham Festival this year, so that's another good tip and another good shout as well from Archie. Richard Hertz, he tipped up well, again, I say tipped up. They're just good chance for a handicapping plot, I think. So he said, shuffle the deck in the festival plate or the Jack Richards Novices Handicap Chase at the Cheltenham Festival. SP Sam 22 said tutti quanti for the Jack Richards or the County Hurdle, depending where he goes. I'm sure Paul Nicholls came out the other day and said to many of the public that tutti quanti is going to be running in the Welsh Champion Hurdle. Correct me if I'm wrong with that. Potentially in the Welsh Champion Hurdle. So he may stay over hurdles for a bit and then go novice chasing. We'll wait to see where Tutti Quanti, who's trained by Paul Nicholls, goes out first time out. But that's another decent shout. Ollie Gedge said Resplendent Grey in the Coral Gold Cup or the Ultima. And the final response I had was from Luke Sharples. Il Ridotto could go back-to-back in the Paddy Power Gold Cup. Now, that would be a brilliant sight, wouldn't it? If Lil Ridotto for Paul Nicholls makes it 2 Paddy Power Gold Cup wins in 2 seasons, that would be a remarkable training performance and a remarkable performance from the horse. So, thank you to you all that came back and responded to my tweet a couple of days ago. I've really had a big response to that. I'm really pleased and grateful for your responses and your comments. A lot of good opportunity for your handicappers to win those races as well. So, good luck with those. Keep them in your tracker. Keep them in your notes. And I do hope some of them, I do hope all of them have a great chance of winning and bring you some much needed winners in the Just Jump season. So good luck to you all, guys. Some very good shows. I'll do a couple more of them during the season. But thanks for the first response on my Twitter post. And so that is everything, guys, from this particular video. I have promised to give you 3 special episodes before the start of the season. I've delivered in terms of 3. I have got 1 extra now in terms of 1 coming out next week or the week after. The 4th video before the new season starts. That will only have 4 horses to follow in there as well. Like I said earlier, I've broken the 8 up to have 4 in this video, 4 in the next, so that this video hasn't been too long for you all. It's been short and sweet. The other 4 horses are a mixture again of novice chasers, 1 handicapper, and I've also got 1 mare in there as well. So it does split things up for you, not just novice hurdlers as I've given to you on this video. But I've really loved giving you your mentions, your tweets, a little shout out on the show. So it brings you guys some attention to your views to the fore. People can see what you guys think as well, not just me rambling on. So thank you. I very much appreciated that. And I'll give you some more tweets, more posts you guys can get interactive in during the season on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel if you want, guys. Feel free to share and like the video as you always do. I do appreciate that the subscribers have gone up and the followers have shot up on Twitter. Thank you very much. Until next time, enjoy what you guys are watching of late. There's a lot of jumps meetings going to be happening soon. It's going to come thick and fast. Uh, Probably after this month comes to an end. So October time will come sooner rather than later. We can't wait for the jumps. And yeah, that's everything. Thanks for watching. See you all soon.